This video is a quick look at version 2 of my FreshGuitar virtual instrument. FreshGuitar is a virtual instrument made by sampling my Freshman acoustic guitar, which you can probably see hanging on the wall behind me there. And it's a library for Decent Sampler. If you're not familiar with Decent Sampler, it's a sampler plugin made by a talented guy called David Hilowitz, and it's available for Windows, Mac or Linux, or even iOS. You can download it for free from David's site. Once you've downloaded Decent Sampler, you can use it to make your own virtual instruments from samples that you create. Or you can download one of the hundreds that are available from the community, most of them free of charge. And you can download those either from David's site or from another site called Piano Book. I've left links to both of those sites down in the description. First, let's take a look back at version 1 of FreshGuitar, which was uploaded a little while ago. Version 1 was uploaded to Piano Book a little while ago. It's a basic sampled instrument with a few tweakable controls, sampled with a microphone near the sound hole of the guitar and via the guitar's built-in piezo pickup. Those two sets of samples can be mixed using their own level controls on the interface. The blue keys show the range of playable notes. The grey ones, lower down, play samples of fingering noises, including various taps and squeaks. These effects have their own level control too, labelled fingers on the UI. There's also overall tone and reverb controls for the instrument. Okay, so what's new in version 2, apart from a slightly redesigned interface? Well, firstly, the lowest note has now been dropped from E to D. Not all guitar parts are in standard tuning. You can also now mix in a chosen amount of plectrum sound using a new control on the interface to give a whole range from fingerstyle to plectrum playing. Also, there's a new bass cut control as well as the overall tone control for the instrument. The overall tone control is a treble roll-off. Sometimes you want to reduce the amount of boominess that you can get from an acoustic guitar, especially when you're using it in a mix. Another new control, labelled Palm Mute, simulates muting of the strings by the player's hands. But perhaps the biggest change is the new Strumming Engine. In the later versions of Decent Sampler, David has included the ability to play sequences of notes triggered by a single event, such as a specific key or a button on the interface. Let's move this display up to the upper part of the MIDI key range, outside of the playable notes. These two green-coloured octaves have notes that play chords rather than individual notes. Down strums for the darker green notes and up strums for the paler ones. So, using this D, for example, will produce a D chord. What type of chord is determined by first pressing one of these grey keys. These don't play notes, instead they're key switches, selecting the chord type. Watch the image to the right of the interface as I click one of these. I don't need to hold down the key, just click it once. So, to play a D7 chord, for example, I'll first select the A key switch. I can then play a down strum or an up strum using the relevant D key. You can also adjust the strum speed using the speed control on the interface. Playing live via a MIDI keyboard, for example, is possible if you're dexterous. But generally, I'm guessing you'd use the Strum Engine via a MIDI editor in your DAW. Of course, your MIDI file can include not only the notes that play chords, but also the key switches that select them. Don't forget that you can also include individual notes from the lower region of the keyboard, and finger noises too. Here's a MIDI sequence loaded in a DAW. I'm using Reaper. To make things easier in the MIDI editor, I've loaded a text file into Reaper that displays the key switches, the finger noises, up strums and down strums into the editor interface. That text file is included in the library download, so if you're using Reaper, feel free to use that if it helps. If you're using a different DAW, the information in that file might help you to do something similar in your own DAW. Most can, but it'll depend on which one you're using. Let's see that play. So that's FreshGuitar version 2. I hope you found it interesting. I'm very much a beginner at all this, so please feel free to leave questions, comments or criticisms in the comments section below. In particular, if anybody has an interest in how the code works, let me know. Perhaps I'll make a video about that at a later date. Please feel free to download both Decent Sampler and this library, which you can use for whatever you wish or modify to meet your needs. Thanks for watching.